Tell me the difference between ADHD, they add the H in there, and ADD.
ADHD is more of a
it's another medication to buy.
Well, I think my thought is though, ADHD is more of a focus thing. ADD is more of just you're rambunctious. You can't stay still. It's kind of I don't know.
Wait. I thought we called that bipolar. See what I'm saying? It's all bullshit, bro.
There's all sorts of. I will say this though, on the medication thought, there are a lot of people that need to be on medication. They're on medication, and it helps them significantly. There are a lot of people that they didn't take medication, they'd be out there killing people, very much hurting people. So medication is very important to some, but I think there are a lot of people that are on it, probably shouldn't be on it. It's killing them slowly. I mean, if you look into like Adderall or any of those things, they're prescribed to a lot of people. Essentially, they are narcotics, right? If you go to the pharmacy, it's a controlled narcotic, right? Like it's like doing speed. So you got to really read these fucking pill labels you get.
JB, real quick though, so like just for clarity, like are you in the belief that all these diagnoses are fake?
Yeah, right.
Is that what you believe?
You do know there are just people that are nuts.
Because real quick, I'm with you on the medicine side, and I believe that we don't need medicine. Yeah, I'm asking you, but real quick before you answer, like I'm with you on the medicine side. Like, I don't believe you need actual medicine for a lot of this shit. A lot of this shit you can naturally figure out different healthier ways to get past it or get through it. But at the same time, I don't think these are fallacies. I do think some people do have ADD. There are people who actually have certain conditions.
There are people that are schizophrenic, and if they don't take medication, they will go out and stab people with, steak knives. Like,
yeah, and like people, like I do think it's a difference there. But like, I want to ask, because it's not you're giving up the vibe that you're like, man, fuck that. This is all just mental.
Like, yeah, you should just get over it.
Just get over it. I'm like, I don't know.
I think he's talking more about like the mental health. Like, I'm depressed.
I'm the biggest proponent versus mental health. I think it's all bullshit. I agree. I think mental health exists. Here's the answer to your question. I truly believe that mental health chooses you and you don't choose it. You hear me say that all the time.
Yep.
So if it chooses you, then I believe there should be a diagnosis for that choosing, and you should take the appropriate medication.
Right. Okay.
We're taking medication when we choose mental health. And that is why 66% of Americans are on some sort of fucking medication. You can't sit here and tell me that 70% of America needs to be on medication. I'm not buying it.
Right.
Period.
I'm with you on that.
I believe that we get up and say, oh, shit, my life just got hard. What do? A, commit suicide and you leave your 2 sons and wife behind because you're a coward and you didn't want to face the music. Or B, claim mental health so I can go get put on some type of government program and get out of jail free card. I see it way too much. And I'm like, hold up, Jeff. I know Jeff Nadu. That motherfucker ain't sick. That motherfucker was just playing hoop with me yesterday. Now he's on fucking Adderall and off work for 3 weeks.
But remember, like, when you look at, like, for instance, Jeffrey Dahmer, for instance, Jeffrey Dahmer.
That's a different cat, though, Jeff. You should just be castrated and
but think about this though. When he's arrested for what he did, Jeffrey Dahmer didn't sit there and say, "I had this, I had that." They had him see a psychiatrist. Like most mobsters that I talk to, they speak to psychiatrists, and in the end, we find out they have major mental issues, like borderline personalities, like. A lot of them don't use it as a crutch. Most serial killers are nice people that you would see on the street and you wouldn't think anything of it. They just have something in their head that is a proclivity that they like. It's not that they're mentally, something's wrong with them.
Hey, it's funny you mention this because I got to ask you, have you seen the movie Smile?
Yes. Oh, no, not Smile. I ain't seen Smile, but I've seen the preview.
It's a horror movie. It's a horror movie about a doctor who's basically, covers schizophrenia, covers sociopaths, she's a mental health doctor, and she gets the scary movie part of this illness. It's passed on to her, right? I did not know this, but my buddy's into all these things. That movie's based on a true story. The true story of it is that the doctor became the patient and saw all these things And then they made a horror movie about it as if they just added the horror portion of it as if it was real. But in theory, the truth of it was the doctor became the patient and became mentally screwed, right? She saw it so often helping these mentally disabled people or mental health issues or what have you. She became her own worst nightmare. And then they made a horror movie about it. And my buddy, we were talking about this same thing, and we were like, she never got diagnosed with anything. And at the end of the day, they said she woke up one day because she saw her mom die and chose to be this person. Now, that's deep as shit when you think about it, because if you really look at it and be like, hold up, she chose to be crazy, but then got into the medical field to fuck with people and try to act like she's helping them, when in theory, she wanted to see their demise.
Because of her own pain.
Deep as shit. But they made a horror movie out of it. And if you know the whole story, it's crazy. But like, how can we really believe these things if this is a type of person out there that maybe one of our doctors?
I mean, there's always going to be
an outlier though, too, right?
Yeah, there's always going to be bad eggs.
Maybe, but we don't know.
And also, I'm sorry, real quick, because what the thoughts on my head, because you mentioned like her mom died or whatever, and that's what led to this. Do you guys believe that like trauma can like trigger something mentally that maybe you were a normal, regular, decent person?
Yes.
And trauma led to something else? That's what I'm saying. Like the word decision.
It doesn't even have to be.
It's
different for me. Be trauma. Okay, and I'll explain it like this. I have studied and watched, for instance, filmed executions. I've seen all of them. It has changed my life significantly since I started watching them. I'm not the same. I don't think the same way. I just viewed them. And I feel a certain. I couldn't imagine seeing some of the evil that's out there and having to live the life that way. Of course. I think all the people that commit crimes and do bad things, they've had some sort of PTSD, traumatic situation. Look at a lot of these people. Like, look at a lot of people that go to war. Look at a lot of people that commit. Like, a lot of them went to the military and saw some awful things. And then we just take these people who have killed people legally, and we were told to do it. Then we just say, you know what? Throw them back into society. You know, let them live their life regularly. I mean, and go to any hood in America. Some people see the awful things. Imagine growing up in Kensington and Philadelphia, and every day you walk down the street, you see death. You see people shooting up and dying on the street. You see that's all you see. I mean, Coach, you can comment on this. I mean, the trauma of being 7, 8 years old, seeing someone get shot in the head right in front of you. How do you live that way? That's always in your head forever. Think of the horrors all of us have to see. Today, we see all sorts of shit. I remember where I was when I saw them people jumping out of the buildings September 11th. That will never exit my head. Little things like that, and it wears on you over the years. It doesn't surprise me that people become crazy nowadays.
Let me just give you my side of it. My best friend growing up in high school, my buddy owned the last black-owned liquor store in Compton. After our football games, we'd go there and hang out. They had the plexiglass bulletproof windows, shields, covered in wet register. He worked behind the thing. He had his dog back there. We would chill all day. We would drink underage back there, fuck with him. You know, he owned it. His daddy owned it, passed it down to him. Some Grape Street Watts cats walked in there one day, faking to be Bloods. That's what they used to do back in those days, early 90s. And they walked in. We were all outside the glass, and my homeboy that we grew up together just finished. We won the game. We were in there chilling, and he put a gun in my boy's head. I was getting a drink in the back. He put the heat to his head and told my boy behind, the owner, empty the cash register, put it under the thing, or I'm gonna kill him. So he had us by the balls, kind of, and my boy was like, "Man, I can't do that." Whoop-de-whoop against our thing. So he did it anyway to save the kid's life or whatever, my boy's life, Damon. He said, so he put the money under there. Wasn't that much. Like, they don't carry that much at liquor stores. And so the dude was like, all right, homie, good looking out. And he put his pistol down. They walk out. And at that point, I'm standing literally like right here. My boy's right here. He turns around, domes him. And I had brain matter and bone embedded in my face. That's why I have these scars from his actual bone. Now, I should be what you say, mentally fucked then, right?
If you were, you would have a legit reason. Like,
but I think that's an excuse. It's not a reason.
But see, JB,
Smitty, listen, I lived in a car in Compton from 15 till 17. I was raised by one of the biggest United States dope dealers in the history of the country. Dealt with Noriega directly. Like, brought the money in from the government to the U.S. Dope, drug money.
Right.
I could have went that way. Why didn't I make a left at the stop sign?
Okay,
I made a right.
But remember.
But you're different, maybe, JB.
I'm different.
You don't believe you are, but I'm telling you different, JB. Like, I'm just
most
being real
people,
with you.
I'll hear you guys take.
Most people don't have the wherewithal and fortitude and resilience to do that. Most people.
Why?
Why? Because they're just not built like that.
Various factors, I think. I think it's various factors. How you was raised.
I think they're all excuses. I think we're making excuses for why they're not.
I mean, but everything's an excuse. Even a valid reason is.
Listen, I'm not trying to be King Dick Willie here. I swear I'm not. I'm trying
you kind of are trying to be.
I really not though. I'm trying to really break down the fact that I truly believe life's about choices, and I believe that how we're reared, they call it, or raised, is a direct impact on what you were allowed to do versus what you were coached up to do or not to do. I believe now we are getting more and more into this generation where we are allowing more and more and more. We're not really telling people this is what's going to toughen your skin. Instead, we're saying, hey, this is the easy way out. Sit out these games right here and you'll still get your bag. Hey, don't play. Load manage right here. You'll still get your bag. That would have never came across. I know we're talking sports here, but this is real life too. Like, hey, dog, you could actually tell HR that you don't got to show up for work you got 80 hours saved up and you can blah, blah, blah. Back in the day, we just didn't do it. I truly believe that has a correlation on how our mental fortitude is actually accepted or not accepted right now.
But I think we have to look more at the root causes as to why people are the way they are. You know why I am the way I am? Because when I was younger, my parents were great parents. They gave me whatever I wanted. They told me how to live life correctly. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't be with that person. Don't do that. And you know what I wanted to do? The complete fucking opposite. And I listened to music and I watched TV and I didn't think it was real life, but to me it was. And I started acting that way. And I wanted to do everything they told me I shouldn't do. And most kids are like that. They always want to go where the parents aren't. And I'm just one person. But that's little things that get to you where you are today. And look, Coach, you're just a different dude. You didn't do that. I get it. But a lot of people are like you. We're all different. We all grew up different ways.
But I'm going to be honest with you. I see it more. I see my mental fortitude and attitude come from more people that I was raised around than the privileged. And I know that's a common, and I know a lot of people say, you're bougie. You came from a rich background, blah, blah, blah. Like the Johnny Manziel deal, right? A lot of people are, he had money. I don't feel sorry for him. And then you're on the other side like, well, he faked this or lied about that, whatever it may be. There's both parts of it, right? I know white trash exists out there with money, and I know brothers that have money do stupid shit, and then I know brothers that are broke that are law abiding and do everything the right way. I think there's so many different parts of this, and idiots come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, and so do ignorant folks. Now, having said that, though, I don't know anybody, dog, that I grew up with in the worst neighborhood in America in the 80s in Compton that off themselves, that claim to be something they weren't as far as mentally. But then I crossed the railroad tracks, even in my era, and I saw a different demographic use all these different crutches and excuses. And I knew for a fact they're lying. Why is that? Why does Jeffrey Bourdain off himself in a hotel, but all my homies who have not a pot to piss in struggle every day and still go to work, still try to feed their kids and families? Why are these dudes giving up so easy?
Because look at Manziel. You didn't see the documentary, but you remember it, Smitty. Look at what he said. I had everything. I had money. I was an NFL quarterback. I had fame, everything. Yep. He said, I wanted to blow all my money, and my plan was to off myself. Because that doesn't mean anything, coach. All that shit doesn't mean anything. If you're alone, whether you're poor or rich, doesn't matter.
So here's my take real quick to jump in. I to answer your question, I think part of it is when you grow up struggling, when you grow up without, all you know from your whole life is like trauma to different levels and degree. So right on the lowest level, it could be, your parents, motherfucking each other in the household. That can affect you when you're real young. At the highest level, it could be what you went through, JB, your best friend getting shot right by you. But regardless, your entire life, all you knew was Compton. That's what you knew. So all you knew was struggling.
I should have had more excuse to off myself then.
But it's affected you in ways that you maybe don't think it has.
And I also think your generation, y'all avoid the like you guys don't ever like face the shit. Like you got going to therapy was soft. Going to like that, your air is that air. Like you guys just like.
But we're okay though, bro. We're okay though.
But I don't know though. I don't know that. Like you're saying that. I don't know though, JB.
Coach, maybe that's one of the reasons.
JB, real quick, like I'm glad. Let's keep it real. We might go 10 minutes longer on here because this is deep shit right now.
I'll let you fab. I would argue though that the allowance of free medical, the availability for urgent cares and shit like that are just reason why we're more fucked up. I'm gonna be real with you. We didn't have that shit. We didn't have access. You know where we went? Killer King, Martin Luther King Hospital, where you might die in the waiting room by another. You might get shot by another motherfucker from a rival hood who was shot, and that's the reason you're in there.
And you think that hasn't fucked your brain up a little bit, JB? Obviously, you're living good and you made a great life. So we're not talking about
you have
lifestyle. But I guarantee mentally, guarantee if you really sat in your shit and really thought about. I guarantee you think about why you are the way you are in some situations. We all got different reasons why you spaz out at people.
Right,
I don't know
why
I do certain shit. There's something in your mind, JB. I swear to God, there's something there from your childhood. I'm not no therapist.
I agree.
There's some shit affecting you that you just never really fully faced. I guarantee you.
I do.
I'm telling you.
Here's the thing I don't agree with. I don't have to accept it. So you're saying you have to accept it. I don't have.
I'm not saying accept it.
And I think we accept it too much in society. That's the problem. We've anointed these dudes for having something that basically is a Band-Aid could fix, but we're saying, oh shit, you need to go see a therapist, you need 16 weeks off, and you need to fucking take 6 months off of this. Nah, dog, it's just really a minor thing, but we're making it into this huge thing. And guess what? When you give somebody an inch, they'll take a yard. Don't get it fucking twisted.
I feel you on that, and I do think we have overcorrected it. I think where we at today in America, in a lot of different categories, we have overcorrected a lot of the old shit. I think back in your era, it was like no therapy, no doctors. That shit soft, hard. I'm in the street,
but doctors, people.
I'm just saying, but now it's like what you're saying. It's like take time off, mental health. Now it's like too far. I think it's somewhere in that middle that we need to be at, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm gonna let you and Jeff debate this, but I gotta give you one thing real quick, and I'm gonna take a piss and let you guys talk about this.
Drop the mic.
And I love the debate. I really do. I appreciate doing this. Here's the issue though. You can fucking order Adderall, a bullshit bootleg copy of it, online. You don't need a doctor's prescription. You can buy anything online almost that you want, whether it comes from Sweden, Switzerland, overseas. You can pay for it. You can get it. You don't think that's a huge fucking problem?
Nah.
70% of America is on some sort of fucking medication, and I would argue 50% of those 70 don't need to be.
No, it's a major issue, and that's one of the reasons we have stuff like the drug problem we have in America currently, and that sort of thing.
I agree with you on the drug side. I think the area that me and you kind of disagree on is, to me, you make it seem like no matter what you go through, it's your decision,
right? On
how you and listen. I guess technically you are right. Like everything I do today, I can think about what I'm going to do. It's technically my decision, but at the same time, at what point is like, okay, this motherfucker lost his mama, he lost his best friend, he got shot right in front of him, blood on his head, he lost this, at some point it's like, all right, motherfucker, I'm not God, like I'm a human, and my mind fucked up.
She did. It's kind of relevant to what you said yesterday. You mentioned like, okay, there's a mistake, and I said I think there's a difference between a mistake and a decision. Henry Ruggs made a decision. He killed someone that was affected in this decision. I think you correlated to like, we got Addison out here speeding at a 150. We got Jalen Carter out here speeding at 150. We got these idiots out here speeding at 150, doing 200 miles an hour. This dude,
but the difference is twofold. One, Ruggs was drunk. Number two, he killed someone.
It's a decision, though, not a mistake. Right. I understand mistake. Right. It was a mistake because Smitty's point, which I agree, he didn't wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to get in my fucking car and kill somebody. I don't believe that at all. I do believe, though, fact that you have to understand I don't know if you've already seen his plea, though. Have you seen? This is the point I'm making. Have you seen the plea? The plea came out. His lawyers got together, and the plea came out as, oh, guess what? I have to go see a mental health patient. I have to go see a doctor. I need to go get help. We're going to go get rehab. That's the crutch now, dog.
Yeah. Well, he obviously has
you drank and got in the car, homie, with your girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's doing that to try to shorten his sentence. Of course. Like, let's be real. We know that. Yeah.
And it'll work. He'll get out in a year.
And taking a foot.
Yeah.
Right.